I mean, if we act like that,
Not physically healthy?
Yeah, that's not really healthy.
Do you physically fight?
Yeah, yeah, we do. We sure do. Yeah.
Well, what about you guys being brothers? Do you physically fight sometimes?
I get in trouble when I do anything.
It's your fault, huh? You're the one being the oldest that they come down on.
Yeah.
What about girls? Do girls ever, a little bit of hair pulling now and then?
It's not hair pulling, it's throwing us against the wall, hitting me.
Real
But that was a while ago.
When we were younger, I would just totally beat. She could get me with words, and I just couldn't get it back, so I just start beating her. And my mom told me that I couldn't do that anymore, and I would get in trouble. I'm not allowed to touch, and now it doesn't, now I don't do that. I just sort of let it go. But yeah, we used to fight big time.
Most of our fights come about because she's grumpy in the morning, though. I have to get up before her because I have things to do in the morning, and she's like, "Get out of the room," because we share a room, and so it gets rough.
You share a room, and Jennifer's not a morning person.
No, she is not.
Do you ever think, oh, I wish I could just have my own room,
We
or I want something of my own?
Trisha goes, well, I'll just take a bed out in the garage. I'll sleep out in the garage. It gets hectic, but then sometimes it's nice because, we only see each other at nighttime because we're both working and we're both going to school and everything. So that, we can talk to each other and before we go to bed and everything. But in the morning, you just want to sleep till you have 5 minutes ready.
You learn, don't you? You learn when to leave her alone and.
I try.
Or do you do it anyway?
But sometimes when I have to get up, I can't do much about it, so she kills me anyhow.
Well, what is it then after you've had these fights and you know it's bound to happen, you're going to have these arguments, how important is it that you make up? Do you hold a grudge for a little while? Do you make up pretty fast?
Mom and Dad get into
Oh, they
it.
help, huh?
Yeah, one of the two end up getting grounded, if it gets too bad.
It's always somebody's fault, and that person, they decide you get it, and the other person, nothing happens.
Well, what happens when you're mad for a while? Does it keep going on, or is it the silent treatment? How do you deal with it?
Well, I just go away and do something to get my mind off, I don't know, go out and shoot baskets, or just, I don't know, just go to my room and turn radio on or something just to cool down.
When it gets little me, I fights I think the worst time is at nighttime. We share a room too, and we turn the lights out. If we act like we're going to get something like that, we jump on top, start pounding all like that. But usually our parents are down there, so it can't get too bad, because they can hear
pounding on the floor. So it can't get too terribly rowdy.
No.
But you still have to live together day in and day out, especially if you're sharing a room.
Yeah, we share some of that. This year we have some of the same classes at school, but they're not at the same period, but we eat lunch together and we always see each other in the hall and stuff like that.
So who apologizes first?
I say, well, both of us. It's kind of hard to apologize.
Well, that's good.
Kind of mutual,
It's kind of mutual. I'll say, hey, let's just, forget about, we usually shake hands like that or slap each other on the back. Maybe somebody slaps hard in.
And it starts all over.
It starts all over.
Sooner or later, the two of you just kind of give in.
Yeah.
What about you? Who usually apologizes?
He does.
I do. I do.
Is it because you're always at fault, or is it because you just take the ball and run with it?
I don't know. I've always tried to, I don't mean this I think I'm high or anything, but I think I've usually tried to be the peacemaker, where at other times, I've been the one who's always stirred things up. But I hate to fight with any of my brothers or sisters, and especially with her as being the oldest, I try to apologize so she won't hold it against me and it won't make things worse later.
Yeah, but
and
when
I've
he
always
apologizes, he bugs. He'll come up and kiss me on the cheek. It drives me nuts. He keeps it.
She lets me now.
Or he'll tickle me.
The past year and a half, she's let me.
I never see him anymore, but...
So sometimes even an apology is too much, huh? All right, quit apologizing. It's fine. We've got a phone call we're going to take. This is from Lima. Why don't you tell us what your question is?
This question is for Brad and Josh. I have a question for Josh. Since you two are so close in age, would you ever date a girl or agree with the kind of girls that Brad dates?
He can't.
Do the two of you talk about the girls that you would like to go out with, or do you like the same type of girls?
Pretty much.
We're going to get a lot of Do you ever argue over girls? I mean,
No, not the same girl.
yeah.
We might argue if one is pretty or something, but we would never argue over the same one. Cause
What about the two of you? Do you ever? You're very close in age too, 14 months apart. Do you ever both kind of have an interest in the same guy?
Well, we both have boyfriends.
I've been taken so long that we never had to fight about it.
So it's never been a problem.
No.
That's good. What about you two? Look at those faces.
Well, I'd say, we do have different interests, but I don't think there's ever been a point where we've argued over,
The same.
the same girl.
Maybe at different times, but no.
So you've never gone out with the same girl, not knowing which one you're going out with, I suppose. You wouldn't pull anything
No,
like
that's
that.
That's too low, I think.
Not
Good.
Yeah.
trick the
good.
girl.
Definitely.
Have some morals still.
Some morals are good. You have to have standards. Well, we have another caller. Tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Hi, this is Molly from Florida, and I was wondering if your parents ever side with one of you more than the other.
Does your parent ever do what?
Side with one of them more than the other.
Oh. Is one of you always right?
And your parents always stick up for one or the other of you? You're shaking your head.
Yeah. Mom always agrees with her no matter what it was. It was Jenny's right, you're wrong, just shut up.
Oh.
Well, I happen to know that was Bob Placey's daughter calling in, and I wonder why she asked that question, who Bob usually sides with. There must be something behind that question. What about the rest of you? Is your parents usually
It's usually up for grabs,
really pretty even?
Who can put on the best show?
Who talks the best talk that night?
Exactly.
Well, I think it is with a lot of responsibilities between us two. Like, we have stuff to do after, school when we get home like that. And, I don't say Lowell's lazy, but he's he's hard to get motivated to do work. Yeah. So it's like, he's usually.
I get motivated when I want to.
Yeah. So I make him that he wants to.
I let him.
Well, what about being the older boy in the family? Does that put a little bit more responsibility on
Yeah,
you?
it does.
or-
That's like I was saying earlier. It's kind of forced me to be the peacemaker because like Heather's 4 years younger than me, and she's the next oldest after me, and then the youngest is 7. So with me being the oldest and having to babysit them and stuff, I usually have to be the one that stops things. So earlier, I'd think a couple years ago, I used to think that my mom and dad were taking sides with her, when actually it was just coming down to I had to be more responsible and I had to act more my age. And that I learned pretty
That's a
quick.
hard lesson to learn, too, isn't
It
it?
is.
You don't want that to be.
Since he's gone all the time.
No, they don't. They expect me to act like I'm 21 years old, too.
Well, they always think you're right anymore.
I am.
Well, no wonder they think that. What about the two of you? Who's?
I don't think it's either one of us, if more our little sister.
Oh,
She's
there's
real-
another one involved.
Yeah. So my mom always goes for my little sister, and my dad just agrees with mom.
So just one little sister and then 2 brothers.
Yeah.
So is she the baby, the family
Yes.
baby?
Very much so.
Very much so. Well, we have another caller. This is from Ada. Go ahead and let us know what your question is.
Heidi, and I'd like to know, me and my sister have a 3.5-year age difference. I'd like to know how old you guys were before you started getting along.
Was there a period where you just didn't get along at all until you reached a certain age and you could begin to work together a little bit more?
Still don't.
You still don't. We're not to that age yet. What about the two of you as sisters?
I would say, I don't know, when we were younger, my mom would always dress us alike, with different colors and everything. And I think when we were like 12 and, in middle school, it was like we wanted to be ourselves and our own. And, we've got like, 2 years, we were just like cats and dogs. But now we're just, just like friends.
Yeah. Well, don't you get to a point where you begin to appreciate each other more than you fight?
Yeah, with us always being kids, 4 years ago when Heather was 13 and when I was 17, it was like, we both have our different interests. Like she played with her Barbie dolls and I played with cars. Not 17, but earlier than that even. She had different interests than I did, so we've kind of kept our separate ways. But as she started growing up and being more interacting with other people and stuff, and what I'm saying, growing up and me growing up, it's brought a lot more common to us. So we've gotten along better since then.
So you think the older that you get, closer you'll get to each other, the better you'll get along?
I think also, like when I notice now that my best friend and I are, we go to different schools and everything, so we're not as close as we used to. And it's like us being sisters, I know she's always going to be home sometimes, so it's like, I can always tell her something that, is really bugging me and everything. So it's like sort of helped in that area too.
How well do you think you know each other? Do you think you pretty much know everything there is to know about each other? Or do you still hold some secrets
I think
back?
we know more than they think we know about them.
They don't know everything you know, huh?
I don't think
What
we do.
about the two of you? Are there things that you don't know about each other?
We can tell when somebody's like not telling the whole truth, between us two. If one like tells us something like something happened or somebody did something, we can tell, just because we know each other so well.
Do the two of you, do you confide in each other? Do you tell each other things?
Yeah, I do.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
So there aren't a lot of things about each other that you don't necessarily think are secrets, keep to yourselves.
Well, with us, it's just started like in the last year or two because we never had anything to talk about before. And now that I'm dating, and he's been dating for a long time, so now we have things to talk about where before I just didn't want to hear it, and he didn't want to hear the things I talked about. So.
Well, Jimmy, with you leaving home, once you got away, did you really appreciate your family a little bit more? Appreciate your brothers and sisters?
I can't really say I appreciate him more because I've always had a deep love for him, and I've always been close to Heather, even though we fought at times.
Yeah.
But being closer, yeah, I can't say like appreciate, but it has made me think about what I take for granted at times, and it's done a lot of good because you miss them.
Yeah.
First, I didn't see Heather and the rest of my family for 4 months after I left, which I was really missing them. I was anxious to get back and see him.
Yeah.
and
Even
talk to her.
as much as you might fight, you say you still love each other. Even when you really fight, you might be throwing one another against the wall or across the room. But do you still stand up for each other? Do you stick together?
Yeah.
I used to go to a Christian school, and my sister went back to a public school a year before I did. And she told everyone on the bus that I was this, wicked person, that I was just going to beat up anyone that, messed with my sister or my brother. And, I would, if I didn't think it was right, I would stand up. And this last year, they were like picking on my brother and things, and it just really made me mad because, they're like middle school people picking on like 5th grader, and I was like, and I started, saying quit that and everything, and then they started giving me names and everything. But, she sticks up for me when I need to be, helped out, and so it's just, I think it's just, she's like part of you, so it's like part of you is getting hurt.
So as much as you might be fighting with each other at home, once you get outside the house, you're going to stick together?
That's what it seems like, when we fight and everything like that, but it feels like being picked on. We don't get picked on much like that, but if somebody's like giving a hard time, it seems that if you see us fighting, that we're like two different people. And it's like somebody's like picking on him like that, I'll like stick up for him. I think he does the same thing for me too.
He's not saying anything. Do the two of you then, as brothers and sisters or as a group, do you come together and work for a goal, or get together and try to manipulate your parents in a certain way, or your other brothers and sisters try to get what you want? Oh, come on. Anybody do that?
I have at our house, I don't know, my parents trust me a lot, and so it's like, if Trisha's with me, it's, it's cool. But, she tries like, oh, Jen, let's go do this, and, like, okay, and I'm always the one that asks, It's like, Mom, we're going to go out, or can we go out here? And, oh, sure, if you'll be home at this time, and, and it's no problem. If Trisha, it had been another way around.
So who has that special touch with the parents? Is there usually one of you that will ask the questions because they might get a little bit more done?
He does.
He's the one with the touch.
Well, we never really did a lot. He never wanted me around him and his friends, but
I do now.
he never let me do anything with him. He used to go toilet papering and stuff, and he never let me go. And I'm kind of going through that with my younger brother now too. I know how he feels, or I know how he did feel, But, now I get along with his friends really good. Since he's gone, I'm friends with his friends, so it's a lot easier.
Do you
when
have a
he
lot of
was
the
back
same
home.
friends? Yeah, being in the same grade in school, do you like the same people pretty much? You run around with the same people?
I can't really think of anybody that's one friend, not the others, really.
We have the same friends. Like we'll say, I only think there's one person that we have as a friend that the other doesn't,
Jennifer, Tricia? You have the same group of friends or different friends?
Pretty much the same group. We have a few different ones to each because we don't have a lot of the same classes, but
But you never argue too much over, oh, I don't like that person, don't bring them over to my house.
No.
Nothing like that comes up too much. Well, that's good. What is the worst thing then that you have ever done to each other? You look back over the years, and you're going to say, oh, we've never done anything bad, but just let me know the worst thing that you've ever done to each other, just joking around or when you were really upset or whatever. Josh?
I never do anything bad to him.
Look at his face.
He gets mad and he turns into Mr. Tennis Racket or baseball bat, and he just starts running around with this thing and just like trying to, I don't know what happened. He's getting just to a rage and he goes nuts and he just...
Better watch out.
I see Mr. Tennis Racket coming out tonight. Nothing that stands out in your mind that, because I remember, this has been a long time ago, you don't forget these things, when my little brother put bubble bath in my fish bowl, and I came home, and there were bubbles and the fish were floating on top. And you don't forget things like that. There hasn't been anything. What about the two of you? You always get along that well? You've never really had to pull anything on each other?
we've had fights, but it wasn't anything that stuck out. When we had them, they were
Nothing
long
that
and
was,
Yeah.
nothing to like purposely make her mad or, like bubbles in the fish tank. Nothing.
Nothing like bubbles.
No.
Anybody? Can't think of any good stories?
No stories, but I think when I was back home, when I'd go out with my friends, even just a couple years ago, I'd go out with my friends and stuff, and Heather would always try to bug us and just irritate.
The worst thing he could ever do to me was call me a name, though. It used to make me feel so bad inside. I used to try to make it look like it didn't bother me at all, but when he would call me names, it just... he'd
That
call
would
me
get you
everything, and
anything,
yeah.
I did it because I loved her, though.
Of course, all in good Christian love, right?
Yeah.
We're going to take a break right now, but we remind you that the phone lines are open. You can call in with your questions. We're talking about sibling rivalry. I said I wasn't going to say that. We're talking about surviving with brothers and sisters. We'll be right back.
Go say when you painted my toenails.
Welcome back to Straight Talk. We are talking about surviving with brothers and sisters, the good times and the bad times. And just before we went to that break, we were talking about some of those stories that you just don't forget that your brothers or your sisters did. And the way that it always is, while we were gone, a good one came up. And Heather, I can't believe you did this. Tell them what you did when Jimmy was asleep.
Well, I had a friend spend the night, and we painted his toenails.
Red.
Bright red, right? I bet you were just thrilled when you woke up.
Yeah, it didn't make me mad. It just it was humorous, but I don't know.
It ticked you off. You were yelling at me.
Was I really?
Oh. Well, do you hold things over, the head when you find out some things? Do you stick up for each other with your parents? Do you say, I might let someone know this if you don't do what I want?
What?
I used to have a bunch of things I could tell on him before. I'd say, I'm going to tell on you if you do this to me. And
Yeah. It's good to have every now and then, isn't it? A little bit of leverage. What about the two of you? Lowell, do you?
I can't really think of any specific story, but sometimes we break possessions of each other's. One will break something, and then we'll break the other one. After a while, it got expensive,
We have had like the same deal with like food, if we're like
You buy
if we're buying something like that, and maybe one of us doesn't have money with us, and say, oh yeah, you can have the sandwich, and you go, and then like Will said, blackmail like that, and then, you try to get get it for what you want, it's just silly.
Mm-hmm. Josh and Brad, do you hold things over each other's head every now and then?
We say we do, but
I have a lot of things I could tell on him for.
He, when he gets in, it's more or less when he gets in trouble. Well, if he get in trouble by mom and dad, well then he'll bring up something that I did that had completely nothing to do, period, with what he's getting in trouble for. But he'll start getting on that.
Well, he doesn't like to be in trouble by himself. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
good to
Wants to
drag
bring
someone else
somebody
down
with
with you, right? We've got a call from Lima. Go ahead and let us know what your question is.
Hi, my name's Julie, and I wanted to ask the twins if they feel a lot of competition between each other because they're so much alike.
You compete a lot?
I think there used to be, like, he's been in more sports than I have. He was, like, in wrestling and track and cross country. I was in cross country before, but when he took it those seasons, he never went for it. Second year, he just did it, I think, just to prove that, like, oh, look what I did, and you didn't do it. You know? Yeah, and he's, I think, grade-wise, from high school, his grade point average is a little higher. But I've taken some courses that he hasn't taken. So,
Oh, and harder
so there,
ones, right?
Yeah.
And no competition there. What about anybody else? You girls are close together. Do you have a little bit of competition now and then, or?
There's things that I would do that, made her mad a little bit, because I'm not a normal, I'm not going to say I'm not a normal girl, but I'm really not. I'm into, like, sports. I'm not into this. I've never played with baby dolls or, little Barbies or whatever. I was always into the more aggressive things, I guess.
Big trucks and G.I. Joes.
And she would get mad because, everyone would say, oh, Jenny, you did this and this. And, if Trisha, did something that she can do, no one would have said it.
So your interests were really different.
Yeah.
Any competition between two of you?
Not in grade.
No competition there, huh?
I don't agree to that. No, I don't know. I think that since I'm older in sports, just been a little better just because I've been older, have more experience, but he makes him work harder to make him prove to himself that he can be better than me or he's better than older people. I think it just helps him out.
He's helped me a lot in sports because I always had to play him. He always beat me, but not anymore.
But you weren't alone. What about the younger one going through school following somebody else? Do you get a lot of, Jimmy did it this way, or Jennifer always did this so well? Or do you hear much of that?
I've always been smarter than him. So.
TV.
No problem. No real competition in school like that?
Not really. For a while, we went to a Christian school, and you work at your own pace, so we didn't really have any competition. If anything, we did when we got back, but I blew her away, so.
She's very smart. But I always say she's book smart, but not common sense smart.
That's true. I'll have to admit to it.
So it all evens out in the end.
Yeah.
Well, we have another caller on the line. Go ahead and tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Hi, my name's Brian. I'm calling from Lima, and I got a question for Brad and Josh. I was wondering, do you guys approve of each other's friends?
Well, most of the time, there's a couple that don't like, I don't know, it's not like, it just don't get along with, but most of the time, I'd say. How about you, Josh?
Some of his friends, I don't know, but I get along with most of them.
So there's a few of the friends that you don't exactly agree on.
Yeah, just most of we all get along with. Like everybody comes to the house, but just every once in a while there's somebody just they don't get along with for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, that's a difference between the two of you. We've talked a lot about the things that you are alike on and how well you get along with different things. But what are some things that are really different about you? What are some things that are just very different? Who does more work? Who does the work around the house?
No.
Yes,
No.
sir.
Here are some differences.
No.
Yeah, she's.
Just when you're home, because you'll do it.
No, I've
when you're
always done the
gone-
dishes when Mom asked me. No, I don't
I've
put her
always
down
put
or
my room
anything.
cleaner, though.
So you do the dishes, but she cleans the room.
No, at times my room got dirty and stuff, but Heather's. I'm not gonna embarrass her.
Oh, go ahead.
I've embarrassed her enough just by saying that. No, but she's always kind of. I don't want to say lazy because I don't want to put her down, but she has always kind of been hesitant to work, and where I've always stepped out and tried to help my mom. And I haven't all the time because sometimes I got lazy myself. But most of the time it was me who did the stuff that I was asked to do, or just voluntarily.
It's usually that way. Doesn't one person usually do a little bit more housework?
At our house, when we eat around the table, well, I won't get close to doing the dishes. And she'll get up and she'll go to the bathroom. And she'll be there until, until I'm done doing the dishes and, we finally caught on.
How many weeks did this take to catch on?
a long time. A few years.
But, I clean better than she does. Because I don't know what it is, but it's like she'll do a half job, She'll do if she has to clean the kitchen, she'll do it really, really quick. And it'll have to be done anyways, over again. So Mom will just kick her out of the kitchen and say, forget it,
That's a good ploy, too.
I'm the smart one here.
Yeah, sounds like it to me.
But I do a lot because, I don't know, it's what your parents expect, what, if you know what your parents' expectations are.
Well, Nathan and Lowell, what are the major differences between the two of you?
I think what you said about the work thing like that, I'm more motivated to work, too, between us two.
He's not saying
do you think
anything.
the same thing, Lauren? I mean,
I think it runs in cycles. It seemed like when we were younger in elementary, one of us always wake up earlier, get things done, sleeping, then kind of shifted back and forth. I think we're about on the third cycle now, where he's...
So when you're both 30, it's hard telling who will be the winner.
We'll lose track.
Well, we have another caller on the line. Go ahead and tell us where you're calling from and what you'd like to know.
Yes, this is Eric from Elide, Ohio, and I was calling Lo and Nathan to see, do they think they get along better being twins and brothers as opposed to their friends, brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I think we're pretty close, as being twins, like Eric said, like our friends. There's a couple of our friends that have brothers, but they're not as close as us. I think Lowell and me get along better, but then we have just the opposite. We can fight a lot easier.
Yeah, because you're so close.
Exactly.
And you agree with everything he says. Do you get a lot of questions about being twins? People ask you things all the time.
Well, I think so. It's like, there's this one joke we have. It's like, I can't think of it now. It's
How long have you been twins?
Yeah, that's it. How long have you been twins? Oh, since a very early age,
That's like I was born at a very early age.
Yeah, a lot of people will say that if you like being twins. We have to say, yeah, we can have fun. It's like fooling people. A lot of people, even some of our teachers, don't know the difference between us like us. That's kind of fun.
And then it has its drawbacks, though, too, because sometimes you refer to, oh, you're so-and-so's brother,
Well, don't all of you get that, though? Every now and then when you go through school, you're so-and-so's sister or so-and-so's brother, you feel like you kind of follow along someone else's footsteps sometimes?
I pity my little sister.
Because she has to put up with all that you leave behind?
Yeah. Actually, she's like real good, and she usually doesn't get that much trouble, and she gets straight A's and everything, and she just, I don't know.
She doesn't know what's ahead for her.
She doesn't know.
Well, Tricia, do you get that sometimes? Oh, well, you're Jennifer's sister, aren't you?
No, not really, especially not at school because she came there a year after I did, so it was like
So you had a head start.
nobody's made the connection. They're like, you're on straight tags tonight? It's sisters? Your sisters? Yes. So.
Well, the holidays are coming up. Do you always buy each other Christmas presents? Do you fight a little bit or give each other a lot of hints? Do you try to figure out what each other are giving? What happens around Christmas time in your house?
See, the way I see it is buy something that you like. So if they don't like it, they'll give it to you, Well, since we like the same thing, so we can, if I buy something I like, I can give it to him and he'll like it most of the time. So.
Yeah, we like the same things.
That's a good idea, then. Buy something. You two can do that, too. Buy a sweater that you've always wanted and give it to her
This is
for
my
Christmas.
Christmas sweater. That's hers.
We had good taste, huh?
We had Christmas early.
Early Christmas.
He tries to take advantage of me working in a clothing store. Buy me this. You can buy me this.
She asked me what I want, so I might as well.
No,
tell
even
her.
after Christmas, like in the summer, he'll be like, "Oh, Heather, there's this pair of pants I want. You can buy them for me and
$9.
send them to me." $9 is $9, since I get my discount, he thinks I get everything dirt cheap, and I can just buy him anything I want and send it to
Doesn't
him.
always work that way.
It's supposed to, though. I mean, I live away, and she never gets to see me.
He
so.
owes me $40 from 3 years ago.
Oh, you remember that?
Mom relieved me of that debt.
She said that I should forget it. and she said it in front of him, so I pretty much
I take
forgot
advantage
it.
of that.
Until we just drug it all up again, all those dirty memories from the past. Christmases you remember? Do you remember any particular Christmas gifts or holidays that you remember? Nothing.
I got this turtleneck last year for Christmas.
And a sweater.
And a sweater.
Don't forget the sweater.
I wore this turtleneck just to make her happy, you know, because it was...
That was nice. We've got a caller on the line from Lima. Go ahead and let us know what your question is.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I'm calling from Lima. I have a question for Jennifer and Patricia. I was wondering if, like, you two ever got in a fight, and then, like, the next day you had a personal problem, and then you went to your other sister.
I would say when we get in fights, though, usually it's just like a tension releaser. So it's like when it's done, it's done. And like if something happened 5 minutes later, I mean, I would probably tell her.
She does.
So
it's just erased. All of a sudden, she has a problem. It's like, oh, by the way,
I need to talk to you.
Forget what I did to you.
By the way, just act like that never happened. So it usually is a lot of build-up tension. You think things that have been carrying around for a while, and then something little will set you off, or
Yeah. Well, it is for me. I don't know about her.
it isn't usually something major.
No.
Because you mentioned before that you fight about a lot of little things, and then you forget what they even were. What's a good way to make up? Because this is the holidays. A lot of people are going to be bringing their families together. They're going to be seeing brothers and sisters that maybe they haven't got along with for a long time. How important is it to mend those relationships back together, and what's a good way to do it?
He always kisses me.
Just lately, I've had the chance to kiss her, because usually she doesn't let me kiss her. I'd kiss her on the cheek. But she used to get bothered by that.
He used to do it constantly just to bother me, though. And
No, I did it because I love you. Seriously, I did it because I'm an affectionate
he knew I
person.
was in a bad mood, and I'd be doing dishes or something. I might